Hello, welcome back to our fifth session of Marketing Boot Camp. This is Larry Levinson, and today we're going to talk about powering up your marketing. It's going to be lots of stuff to cover here today. So one of the things we want to talk about today is marketing when you have no time to do marketing. This is a critical issue for almost all financial advisors. Other topics include I don't have the skills to do the marketing, or how can I create a scalable, repeatable process? Inexpensive ways to market, some tools that I've identified for you, and then ending the session with your plan. What are you going to do in the next 8 weeks and where to get help? So let's dive right in. Marketing with no time. You know you need to market consistently. You have the best of intentions of doing so, but you find yourself constantly distracted by the phone ringing, email piling up, invoices to send, clients to help, voicemails to return, and the paper that seems to be growing right out of your desk. Your prospects, however, they want to hear from you. Your prospects are tired of generic messages. They want all your marketing to reflect you so well that by the time they meet you in person or online, they feel like they've already met you. They want you to care, and they can spot a sales tactic a mile away. What works with your potential buyers, your potential prospects, is not a sales pitch. It's the care and concern you have for them personally and for their situation. And finally, the other thing to take into consideration is that other financial advisors are learning how to do marketing. So you need to get up to speed and get up to speed fast. Marketing can be overwhelming. There's certainly no question about that. It's expensive. It takes time. Maybe we don't even understand what a brand is, and everybody says we should have a brand. And then there's all those acronyms and jargony things. The only reason marketing is complex is that communication is complex, because people are complex. It's actually possible to make this whole marketing thing a lot easier on yourself. There's a very old-fashioned saying that in order to sell anyone anything, you have to get to know, trust, and like you. And that's all marketing has to be. You don't have to turn it into a climb to the summit of Mount Everest. Put some communication together that persuades a few nice folks to know, trust, and like you, and then make them an offer on terms that you both find attractive. The rest is just bells and whistles. You can add a few bells and whistles if they appeal to you, or just keep it really simple, clean, and plain vanilla. Plenty of successful people do. We try to create a complicated marketing empire from scratch and all at once. This is kind of like trying to give birth to an 11-year-old. Even if you could do it, it wouldn't be any fun at all, and that would be one messed up 11-year-old. Relax. Marketing doesn't need to be that hard. So let me give you 5 ways to make marketing less overwhelming. The first, and these are going to be, you pick and choose between these ways. Use whatever works for you. But the first one is, imagine your business is a baseball game. If you swing wildly at every pitch trying for a home run, you're going to wear out your arms and generally look like an idiot. Instead, you want to play small ball. Keep moving the game forward, hit by hit, base by base. Decide on a focus. You might have one person's advice that you really like, or you might decide that there's a style and flavor that feels good for you. There's a million ways to do marketing. Settle on the one you like and try not to get too distracted by the rest. This one's really important. Don't try to look so big. No one wants you to be Microsoft. No one even likes Microsoft. It's okay to be small, imperfect, and funky. Just be yourself in your marketing. Keep all the pieces easy to change around, too. This is the biggest reason I recommend you don't print a bunch of brochures, or actually any brochures. You want to keep each marketing piece you've got in a format that's easy to reuse and reposition. And we'll talk more about that in a minute. And finally, don't even think about this as marketing. Think about it as communication that just helps people know, like, and trust you. That's a lot less intimidating. So here's some ways to make time for marketing. First of all, reuse your content. I can't say this enough. Too many people try creating new content all the time. I'd rather see you reuse your existing content over and over and over again, because they'll just keep working for you. And it's simple and easy. You want to create a system for this rather than doing lots of one-off efforts. Special reports and white papers fall into this category, as well as well-optimized AdWords or other advertising processes. Again, create systems. Reuse that content. You probably have things right in your office that you could start reusing as marketing content. Team up with other people. Outsource the stuff that you hate doing to a virtual assistant, a copywriter, or even a college kid. As you get better at creating systems, this gets easier and easier. It may be hard at first, but once you've outsourced one or two tasks and you see how easy it is to get the results you want without having to do them yourself, you're going to really like this. So team up with people and measure the results. If you're going to spend time and money running an ad or even sending emails, know exactly what you get out of it. Send ad traffic to a dedicated 800 number or web page. Watch your email open rate and the click-through rate. Measuring marketing isn't just about managing your marketing budget in dollars. It's also about managing the number of hours you have to spend on this stuff. Again, create systems rather than one-off efforts. And finally, schedule time in your calendar to do your marketing. Maybe you want to set this as an appointment with yourself every morning, or 3 times a week, or whatever works for you. But make it regular. Make it often. Again, this is all part of trying to create a system rather than a lot of one-off efforts. And this is actually a technique I use a lot. I just schedule time to write that blog post, schedule time to do the marketing. It's right in my calendar. It's marked as busy, and that's what I'm doing at that time. But what if you don't have the skills for marketing or think that you don't? Well, there are about 6 billion people on Earth, and I bet there are 1 billion recipes for vegetable soup. So I want to share with you my vegetable soup theory here about marketing. So when we want to make soup, we don't get all wigged out by all the possibilities because we know that even really complicated soup isn't actually all that complicated. It's all just soup. It's spiced differently, and there are different techniques. Some is fancy, and some is ridiculously easy. But when you set out to make soup, you don't have to know how to make every single kind of vegetable soup that exists. You just settle on one recipe that appeals to you. So here's my marketing soup recipe. It's called Acme Ask Me. Every copywriting or marketing formula starts with attention, and that's the A in Acme. If you can't capture attention in the first place, then none of the rest of it works. It's a little bit like parenting small children. Until you can get their ears and eyes focused on you, there's not much of a way to get information imparted into their adorable little heads. Attention can come from a lot of places. Advertising is the traditional one. Public relations is another classic. Blogs are great attention getters, attracting new people with Google and also via links from your fellow bloggers. If all else fails, going door to door with a good story can work. After all, I just bought chocolate the other day from a kid who was selling it door to door, mainly because he had a great story. C is part of the Acme Ask Me marketing soup. It stands for connection. Prospects need to trust you. They need to know that you understand their problems. And most people don't realize this, but they want to know what you're like outside the office. They want some personality. They want some real life stuff. The M of Acme is for me. Radio WIIFM. What's in it for me? That's what your prospects are always asking themselves. What's in it for me to build this relationship? What's in it for me to even listen to this person? What's in it for me to invest with this person? The marketing code for this is called benefits, but we don't have to worry about that. Think about what's in it for me. You've probably got lots of answers to this. Some are logical and some are emotional. Both are very excellent for building your marketing plan. Make a gigantic list of all the wonderful things that people get from working with you. And remember, when you talk about them, they always find you very interesting. The E in Acme is for experience. We can tell prospects all day long about what we're going to do for them. But if they don't feel it right down in their gut, they're not going to do it. They need to feel themselves being part of what you offer. It could be as simple as painting a word picture. Picture this, and then off you go telling your story. And finally, the ask me part of marketing soup. If you want to make a sale, you have to ask. Give people the details on what you've got and give them a clear call to action. So that's my Acme Ask Me marketing soup recipe. Hope you enjoy that one. I want to talk a little bit, though, about something I mentioned earlier, creating a scalable and repeatable process. Why do we want our processes to be scalable and repeatable? Well, we don't want to constantly have to reinvent the wheel. Creating a scalable, repeatable process isn't hard. I'm going to show you how to do it, how to create a social media plan in just 4 steps. And this is going to be scalable and repeatable. But let me first tell you a little story. I did not create a scalable and repeatable process recently when I emailed out to a list of 1,200 perfect clients a great email. I sent 30 of them a day for 4 days to test what was going on. So I sent 120 emails, 10% of my list, and I got no response at all. I had to go back and see if they actually got sent. They did. But the mistake was not creating a process. I didn't have a process in place to do some simple testing before I even did this small test here to see, are these emails communicating what I want? I could have asked a friend, I could have asked a coworker, I could have asked my wife. There's a lot of people I could have asked about this email before I sent it, but that wasn't part of the process. Actually, there wasn't a process. So that's frustrating. So here's the 4-step process to create a social media plan. The first is to define your goals and objectives. What's your primary objective of developing this plan? What do you intend to achieve? And use SMART goals. Goals that are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. Like increase Facebook likes by 250% in 2 months. That's really clear. No one can have a misconception about what you're trying to achieve here. So that's how you want your goals to be. Secondly, figure out which social networks you're going to use. For the financial services industry, I'd recommend LinkedIn and Facebook. Or maybe you just want to pick one of them. That's fine too. The third step, and the step that gets the most resistance for us doing, is to create a social media content calendar. So this can be a simple spreadsheet. This could be notes on a page of paper. It can be a tool that you use that you like for scheduling. Doesn't matter. I like the spreadsheet version myself. And if you happen to like it, there's a link here at the bottom of the slide where you can go get this very tool. What I like about this is, first of all, you can see on each day of the week what, if anything, you're doing in terms of social media and what that has to do with your overall plans. So up in the right, you'll see there's a key for holidays, campaigns, ebooks, webinars, blog posts, blah, 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 etc. And they're all color-coded. So in your calendar, those items are color-coded, and you can see in the first 2.5 weeks of the month, this must be December, in the first 2.5 weeks of the month, this was all about a holiday campaign. So this is one campaign that you designed that has various different components in it that happen at various different times. And you can plan all this out ahead of time. You don't need to invent it each day. I love that. That's what makes it a process, a system, something that's scalable and repeatable. In fact, if you were to schedule a campaign like this, the same month next year, you might want to run it again because I know that holiday, whatever it is going to be coming up again the same time next year. So it's very repeatable. Using the Facebook tab, this is another way to get a repeatable process. You can see at the bottom, it's not very clear, I apologize, a different kind of grid. I'll name the columns for you so you can tell what they are. Reading from the left, it's day, date, time, message, link, campaign, and image. So the first 3 columns, day, date, and time, are there for your convenience. The column labeled message, the 4th column, is the copy that you want to have appear in your status update. And it corresponds to the days and times you'd like those to run. Then move to the next column, the link column. That's the input of the link. That's the link you're going to use in the update. So that links to your landing page, for example. Probably the most obvious place for it to link to. And finally, attach an image for Facebook. If you are going to attach an image, we recommend that you edit it to be 1200 by 900 pixels. That's the optimal size for Facebook. So again, if you use a calendar like this for a Facebook campaign, it's a system, it's a process, it's repeatable, it's scalable. Actually, this one's so scalable that you can hand it to someone else and say, do this, and they'll know exactly what to do. I like those kinds. This textile machine was built to be scalable. It can run for an hour or it can run for a whole day, and it's repeatable. It produces exactly the same textile every time. Your social media content calendar is the same way. And like this textile machine, your calendar will require a little servicing probably from time to time. I'm thinking probably once a week. So if you were to spend 20 minutes once a week scheduling out your social media, you'd be done for the whole week. And then finally, the fourth step, evaluate and adjust your plan. So test, 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 evaluate, adjust, and you'll come up with a scalable process that's awesome. So again, define goals and objectives, make sure they're SMART goals, identify the tools, that's in this case the social networks you'll be using, identify the steps, in this case it's creating a content calendar, and then evaluate and adjust. Those are the 4 steps to make anything a scalable and repeatable process. So let's talk about some ways to market that are very inexpensive or even free. I got 14 of these. Create a Google My Business account. We've talked about this before. I mention it here again just to have it for reference. Not going to spend a lot of time on that right now. Get free PR with Haro. We've also mentioned this before. Help a reporter out. Awesome. They respond to me. They let you respond to media queries. It's a really great tool. Build a free or cheap email list. I like MailChimp because the service is free for up to 2,000 subscribers, and for almost all financial advisors, that's plenty. Contribute an article to an industry magazine. This is pretty self-explanatory. It's free. It can be an online magazine, or it could be Fortune magazine, or Entrepreneur magazine, or AARP. It could be anywhere where your perfect client is likely to read it. Attend local networking events, but only attend the ones where your perfect client will be. Your perfect client may or may not be the person that shows up at the Chamber of Commerce mixer. Only spend your time on events where your perfect client is going to be. Or create your own event and invite your perfect clients. Co-sponsor a contest. We've talked about this before. Great way to cross-promote your business with another non-competing business. You could write a guest post on popular niche sites. Again, if it's the kind of place your audience is going to read it, it's a great place to post. Comment on existing blog posts. A lot of people don't do this, and they're missing a big opportunity. If you leave thoughtful comments on the blogs that you follow, that's a great way to get noticed by both the blog owners and their visitors. And it's really smart to leave a link back to your website if you have one, or to your landing page. You can host webinars on your site. Webinars can be costly, but there's some free options. There's some low-cost options. I give you a couple of them here that I like. There's lots and lots of tools out there. Become a valued member of other people's communities. Join Facebook and LinkedIn, join groups in your industry, and offer valuable advice and information. Another great way to get known. Create your own Facebook group. You don't have to join someone else's. Create your own group. Name it something that would attract your perfect client. Offer a free info product on your site. This could be an ebook or a digital product that you're giving away on your site. Fabulous way to get visitors onto your list and into your sales funnel. Likewise, offering a free class. So this free class could be in your office. People come to your office, or it could be in some other place, although Make sure if you go to another place, that's a place that's conducive to your business. You know, if I were a wealth manager, I wouldn't go to a library for a class. I'd go to a hotel. So just make sure that the location you pick is a match for the kind of client you want to attract. Offer amazing free info on social media. So this is really important. You want to always be sharing valuable information with your social media fans and followers and become a trusted expert. Free. Remember that social media calendar, part of the process. A few tools to help you do this. Some of these we've discussed before and some we haven't. Google My Business. Google My Business, I can't say enough about it. You've got to be there. There's no question. There's no other possibility. You've got to be there. And it's free. So you go online, you go to google.com/business, you set up your account, you come up in the listings just like this, where you can see here's Edward Jones, here's another Edward Jones, and here's Charles Schwartz. And look who's at the top of the list. Charles Schwartz, the Ameriprise. How did he do that? All through a free business listing. Google My Business offers you the opportunity to link to your website. It provides driving directions for your prospects, gives you your business hours and your address, your phone, your logo, videos, photos. You can have additional website links there. All that stuff is absolutely free, and you can set up in 15 minutes. This is a no-brainer. There's no reason everybody shouldn't be doing this. Help out a reporter. We've mentioned this before. This is a way when reporters want to talk to somebody in the business, they know who to contact. You. They go to the database, they find you, you're in the town they're interested in covering, and off you go. Or maybe you wake up with a story idea and you need to find out someone who can carry it. Reach out to Haro or Hero, whichever way you say it, or Hero. I've heard it all kinds of different ways. But anyway, reach out to helpareporter.com and you'll find people there who are looking for the kind of story that you've got in mind. Again, totally free. Another tool we've talked about a lot, MailChimp. It's the world's largest email platform for automation, and it's free for up to 2,000 contacts. So here's a hot tip. Listen up because I haven't said this one before. With MailChimp, today, as of now, as of 2017, you need to put all of your contacts into one list. I know this sounds counterintuitive. Put everybody into one list. Then use MailChimp's very powerful grouping feature to sort them out. So one list and a client or prospect or let's just say a person could be on multiple groups. And you email by the group. So this way, it's easy to keep track of how many contacts you've got. You've got one list. And then the groups are the names of different things. So one group might be client. One group might be new prospects. One group might be old clients. Another group might be resources, people who are resources for you. So like that. The social media content calendar I showed you before is available free. Just go to this little bit.ly link here and you can download it. It's a spreadsheet. Once you've downloaded it, you can mudge it around, make it your own, change the colors, insert months and years, do whatever you want with it. It works just like a plain old spreadsheet. Free. Highly recommended. Buffer. I have not talked about Buffer with you before because I've been waiting to talk more about social media. So today's the day since we talked about a social media process. If you want to schedule your social media posts, Buffer is a great time to do it. You may not need the calendar I just showed you if you're using Buffer. Try it and see. But it's way, way, way easy to schedule everything right in Buffer, and then it takes care of sending out all these posts at the right time. It's magic, and it's very inexpensive, 10 bucks a month. Or if you're going to be more active, Uh, sorry, it's free, and then $10 a month if you're going to be more active and schedule up to 100 posts. I recommend you spend the $10 a month and really get into it. But anyway, Buffer is a great tool to be aware of. Bitly. Remember, I just had a little Bitly link, a little shortened link up at the top before. Here's another one, actually to Bitly itself. But Bitly is a link shortener. So when you have a really long link, and some of those links can get really long, you can use Bitly to shorten that link to just a few characters. Why is that important? Because particularly on Twitter, you have a limited amount of space to use. And even on Facebook, you really don't want a link that's a mile long. You want to keep it short and sweet. So Bitly will do that. It's free. Just go to bitly.com, insert your very long URL, and it'll instantly give you the short URL. And if you're interested, it'll also track for analytics against that short URL and gather a bunch of information for you. So I really recommend Bitly. Again, it's totally free. So finally, we're coming to the end here. What's your plan? What are you going to do for the next 8 weeks from a marketing standpoint? What are your SMART goals? What tools are you going to use to accomplish those goals? And what other content is laying around your office readily available for another offer or another landing page? So those are the questions you should be asking yourself now. And here are some resources for you. Not too many this week. 50 ideas to connect to your social media followers. Kim Garst is an amazing social media wonk. I really, really recommend her to everybody. She knows everything, tells everything. It's very readable, very digestible. I just really like the way she writes and the depth of her knowledge and content. The social media calendar that I showed you and the directions for its use are from HubSpot. That's why I starred this, because we talked about the calendar. So if you want to get it, you can find that on HubSpot. Use this link. And of course, there's a link for my office hours. You can schedule a call with me. And even if you're watching this on a recording, you're welcome to schedule a call with me. So that's it for this week. Next week, our final session together, we're going to talk about how to do marketing without access to a website. I know that sounds really strange coming from a digital marketing guy. It was strange to me, frankly, but that's what we're covering next week. And I look forward to talking with you then. Have a great day. Bye-bye.